Hi, my name is Xavier, and I'm a mental health therapist here at Optimum Joy. I am actually from the Bronx, New York, and I was raised by Jamaican parents. Both of my parents are from Jamaica, and I remember growing up and telling people I'm from the Bronx, New York, and 9 times out of 10 they would say, "Well, where's your accent?" And it was a running joke because I think when I tell people I'm from New York, they expect me to sound like Pauly D from Jersey Shore, and I don't. And I love Pauly D from Jersey Shore and his accent. I'm actually jealous of his. I wish I sounded more like Pauly D, but yeah, that's I guess a fun fact that I'm from the Bronx, New York. I will never forget. I found a quote that just shook me to the core, and it was, "Don't climb a ladder just to get to the top and realize the ladder's been on the wrong wall the whole time." And something about that really just shook me up. And I started asking questions like, the last 14 years I've been in corporate America, I've had success, but am I really fulfilled? Is this all there is to work and career? And that was really the beginning of my journey of working towards going back to school, having been away from it for 15 years. And so that's kind of what set me back on the path towards psychology. My mom is actually a therapist, and part of the reason why, so it was scary to make the decision to go back to school, but a huge push for me, what gave me the confidence was my mom went back to school to get her master's she was 60 years old, and switched careers. And I've always heard you should be a therapist. You're such a good listener. People feel just comfortable sharing things with you. And there are so many times along the way that I'd be in conversation with a random person, a stranger, and they don't know me, I don't know them, but I would find these interactions where they're sharing some pretty intimate things, and I'd walk away like, man, that was so cool, first of all. And I guess I never really gave it a lot of thought as to why they would confide in me with something so personal. But yeah, there was always something, what felt like this field was pulling me towards it, but there was a lot of insecurities that I had that I think just quieted the parts of my personality that really show up and really light up in a session. Some of that is, societal, I think, expectations, being a good listener, not necessarily something that, as a man, being a good listener, not necessarily something that I think society expects. And just wrestling with insecurities that I'm so grateful that I got an opportunity to really get my own personal healing, because what I used to be insecure about, now I use every day in therapy to support people and help them find their own healing. Growing up in, Black community where, my parents, what I heard growing up in the home was we don't tell our business to anyone outside of the home. And so that was really the lesson and messaging that came through for me in my home. And I know for a lot of people in my community, they've heard that same messaging as well. I want to also just say, if you're considering going to therapy, that first step alone, which is the consideration, the awareness that, man, maybe this could be helpful for me. I want to acknowledge you. I want to celebrate you even to get to that point, because there's so many people that just don't. Growth and healing doesn't just happen because of time. Time doesn't guarantee that we're going to be healed. It does take intention and effort and work. And I think that if you find yourself with a good therapist, they're going to be aware of that as well. They're going to go at your pace. I just want to empower you to find your own healing. This is for you. One of the things that I love about my own healing story is when I started to get better, when I started to feel more confident in my skin, what I noticed was my healing wasn't just for me, it's for the people who are with me, like my wife, my community, my workplace, my colleagues, my family. And so your healing journey, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. You're gonna feel more whole, but at the end of the day, what you're gonna be able to transfer to your city, to your community, to your family and friends, oh my gosh, it's invaluable. So, what brings me joy, honestly, has I think changed over the last few years. I've always, I love food. I'm a big foodie. My parents are Jamaican. I grew up in a home where they made home cooked meals. My mom, shout out to my mom, she's incredible, made home cooked meals every single day. I don't know how she did it because she had a full-time job and still managed to have a hot plate ready for us after school. And so that stuck with me. I enjoy eating, so I enjoy cooking as well. And I'm now married, and I think what really gives me the most joy these days, being at home, food in the background, Netflix on, friends over. I think my favorite conversations are ones where there's a transaction of like vulnerability, exchange of vulnerability. I love deep and meaningful conversations. That really lights me up. And I think I've never walked away from a table full of friends, food on the table, conversations happening, and not felt joy. And it's hard to find that kind of joy, for me at least, anywhere else. So I'm a huge advocate of three, I guess, modalities or theories. One being Gottman, which is really prevalent within couples work, EFT, and then also any kind of attachment interventions. Those really get used quite a bit in my sessions. And so I am a huge advocate of helping my clients, first of all, recognize patterns, growing more aware of what's happening in their body. So I do a lot of somatic work as well. Specialty population, I would say I really do enjoy working with couples. I would also say clients who have like developmental trauma, which falls more into like the attachment work that I get to do. I love that as well. There's so many things that I love about what I get to do. Obviously, being in a room with someone who is beginning their own healing journey is it's just such a sacred space. And it really is a privilege that we get to walk, someone through their journey towards becoming more whole, challenging old habits, thoughts, opening up like the capacity to be in better relationships. I work with a lot of couples, and so usually when they get to me, it's been 6 to 8 years of patterns and cycles that have not been the best for the relationship. And so honestly, for me, it's like, what an honor that I get to use the tools that I've been given through school, through my own research, and to pass that on and to share that and to experience and witness the journey with my clients. It really is an incredible field. And I just feel grateful that I got to, I guess, get a second chance at career. And for me, it's not even a career, it's really a calling for me. It feels that way, at least. I really feel that I was made for this. I really do. Where should I look? Okay, let's do it. Oh, it's okay. A good psychology drama, with the exception of maybe country. My wife loves country, but
I personally enjoy country music. I guess.
Americans. Oh my gosh, why did I say Americans? Take a swig of this matcha. Okay. I had a fun fact, and now I don't have the fun fact, so it's not that fun. Oh, here's a fun fact. I wish I sounded more like Pauly D.
It's a lot harder when the camera's in your face.
Yeah, yeah. Shut up, Mel.
Shout out Mel.
I kind of almost want to start that whole thing over.